Dale Murphy to lead off, still looking for his first hit in the playoffs. And here's the evaluation of Joe Torre on Murph.
Describe that. Well, Ralphie, between Ralphie and Hubbard, our second baseman, they have 19 home runs and 110 RBIs or so, which is something more than I come to expect when I took this job. Ramirez has made a lot of errors for us this year, but he's made a lot of great plays, especially in L.A. last week in the Wednesday game when he had to make about 3 or 4 plays in the hole in an extra inning ball game. He's got all the tools to be a great shortstop, Howard. It's just a matter of him putting it together and maturing and getting more experience to have more confidence in himself. And offensively, I believe the reason he's gone from hitting a couple of home runs to hitting 10 for us this year is we moved him up to hitting second in the lineup in front of the big monsters.
That was obviously the wrong cut that we had queued up right there. Torre talking about his double play combination. So file that away in your memory bank the next time Ramirez comes up. Meanwhile, Murphy at the plate in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Murphy, Chambliss, and Horner in the 6th inning. Half swing, 1 hopper down to Hernandez right at the bat. 1 out of the 6th inning. Game 2, Atlanta on top 3-1. Chris Chambliss, the batter. Tonight at halftime, Clemson having no trouble at all. A&M at the half, 3 points over the Cougars. Georgia Tech over Tulane in the 2nd. Vanderbilt leading Florida at the half. Tennessee, LSU knotted up. And SMU, 3rd quarter, trailing Baylor, 13-0. Chambliss takes the strike. 0-1 the count. Funny how everything can turn around simply with an Atlanta victory if they can hold on tonight. 0-1 pitch is grounded foul. The ebullient mood, the Cardinals winning the other night and winning handily with force, working in the crowd, celebrating in the town, going wild. And then all of a sudden, if Atlanta pulls out a victory, you're tied 1-1 just like that. And not only that, the rest of the series is played in Atlanta.
And that's where they want to be.
1-2.
And the big thing about being ahead at this particular time is that they can't think about using Suter.
1-2 to Chambliss. Grounded foul. So much has been made of Suter. Bruce Great, of course, 36 saves. You tend to forget on the other side, you've got a fellow by the name of Gene Garber, who came out of that bullpen to save 30 games for Atlanta this season.
Fantastic year. Fantastic. He and Bedrosian have had super years for that ball club. It's made a difference because they've had very few complete games. So Joe Torre is really dependent on those 2 fellas.
1 hopper, backhanded.
Look at that guy.
The acrobat throws.
Look at that play. He's unbelievable.
Ozzie Smith. Well, they have forgotten about Gary Templeton in a hurry here. Smith coming over from San Diego. Ozzie making plays like this all year long. Down he goes, up he comes. No problem.
Last time I saw a shortstop field like that, I played with a guy who later played with the Yankees by the name of Willie Miranda. He was outstanding, but he was very weak with the bat. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. But he was outstanding with the glove.
Horner grounds it foul. 0-1 the count. Hitless tonight. Bob in the series is 0-5. You can see what a difference the launching pad makes to Bob. More than twice as many career home runs.
He's a fly ball hitter. As you've seen, practically all of the balls he's hit in the 2 games have been fly balls. That's why he hits a lot of home runs in Atlanta.
1-1. Alan Roth pointing out something very interesting over his career. And also, this season, he homered at home every, let's say, 10 and a half at-bats, and on the road about every 34. 1-2 the count. He hit 25 this season in Atlanta, and he hit 7 on the road.
Every 10 and a half at-bats is a better percentage than Babe Ruth had.
Yeah? I say, yeah, I believe. Correct, sir. 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. 3 up and 3 down. At the end of 5 1/2. Braves 3, Cards 1. Tomorrow will be in Atlanta for game number 3, 8 Eastern time. Rick Hampton announced for the Braves, who came out of the bullpen to join their rotation early this season. Joaquin Andujar, the pitcher of the month in the National League in September, will work for the Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Al Michaels, Tommy Lasorda with you. Howard Cosell in Pittsburgh tonight for the Steeler dinner. Back with us tomorrow. 1-0 on Hernandez. In the Atlanta bullpen, Tommy Boggs, who would have been the starter had we played last night, throwing. Now he's out of the rotation, at least for the moment. Hernandez hits it sharply into right field for a base hit. So Keith, who was 1 for 4 in game 1, leads things in the bottom of the 6th inning with a solid single into right field.
Wonder how the dinner's going with Howard. We miss him.
Well, before the night's over, you want to do a Cosell imitation for me? Simple, Tommy, really. The precipitation, which has seemingly become mandatory, has abated tonight.
I don't want you to get on Howard. You know, he's great. You know, he's one of the most generous guys that I've ever met. In fact, Emmy told me that every year Howard wants to donate $25,000 to the family of the unknown soldier.
He's going to have you in his neck brace tomorrow. Darrell Porter is the batter. Porter has walked and doubled. Crowd coming to life now as the Braves lead it 3-1. Bottom of the 6th inning. A strike. 0-1. Darrell's wife. Pretty lady. First child, baby girl, arriving yesterday afternoon. Not much sleep for Doug last night. 2-1 pitch is rolling inside. 3-1 the count. The Cardinals get a run. Hernandez scoring from first, and then Porter credited with a double and thrown out at third, and getting the ovation as he comes off. Big play here to get him, to keep the tying run from being 90 feet away. As the relay comes into Bob Horner, and he's right there. Porter head first with no chance.
Now you got Bedrosian warming up, and he is warming up in case anything happens to Niekro.
Hendrick. 0-1. Another angle now to play at third base, and no doubt about this call. Chopper going to be a tough play for Ramirez. Charges, steals, no play. Atlanta on top, tying run at first now.
That was a big play at third base a moment ago. He would have scored on that ground ball because it was hit so high. So the relay by Hubbard to Horner was perfectly executed.
Now Bob Gibson going to the mound.
going out to give Phil a little chance to relax a moment, and he's also going to give Bedrosian enough time to warm up.
There's Bedrosian, who was not effective in Game 1, coming on in relief. Threw very hard that night, and he was the victim of the Cardinals' attack.
Center fielder
Willie McGee, who has struck out twice. A swing and a miss, and the count is 0-1.
Hendricks doesn't steal too many bases. In fact, he's not even taking too much of a lead off of first base.
McGee fouling it away. Quickly, Negro ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Whitey Herzog, good success in Kansas City, of course, there. Won 3 divisional titles and watched the Yankees beat his club 3 consecutive times. Short lead by Hendricks, and McGee takes away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Willie McGee, the man the other night who hit one into the right field corner and then stopped at third when he didn't look at his third base coach, Chuck Hiller, on a play on which he could have had not only an inside-the-park homer, but could have gone back to first. And down he goes again. So McGee, having no success at all with Necro's knuckler, has struck out 3 consecutive times. And it will bring up Ozzie Smith. Necro with a total now of 5 strikeouts.
Whitey's 2 pinch hitters from the left side with Steve Braun or Dane Ork. And if Ozzie gets on, in all probability, he may use one of the 2.
He has Bear throwing in the bullpen as they remove some litter from the field. Ozzie Smith at the plate. 3-2 Atlanta. 2 out. Hendrick at first base. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Horner has to stay in real close with Ozzie Smith. He would attempt to bunt. You give him a chance, he'll bunt.
Rounds it by Chambliss into right field for a base hit. Hendrick will go to third as Washington's throw comes into Hubbard. That's 4 hits in the inning. And they'll go to the bench with Cooper due up here. Chambliss diving, had to hold a runner on, opened up the gap on that side. Base hit. And out of the Cardinal dugout comes Steve Braun, who was the opening night 3rd baseman this year for the Cardinals. He was there because Oberkfell started the season injured. So Braun, a versatile fellow who can fill in occasionally, infield or outfield. And the Cardinals' big man off the bench this year.
He's a tough hitter.
Coming up.
He makes contact. He doesn't overswing. He doesn't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
As a pinch hitter this season, he was 12 for 41. That comes out to 293.
Smith has been running a great deal every time he got on first base, so we'll find out. He's the winning run. He's the go-ahead run, so we'll find out if he runs like he did the 2 previous times he was on.
0-1 the count.
Well, a pinch hitter coming off the bench. He's been sitting there for 6 innings, and when he was notified to go loosen up, he was probably in the back swinging the bat. But it's a tough job coming off that bench, hitting particularly off of a pitcher like Necro. Very difficult to pinch hit.
Hendrick at third, Smith at first. 2 down, 4 hits in the inning. for the Cardinals.
There goes Smith.
Ozzie running, and the pitch is swung on and missed, and there's no throw. All Benedict has to think about here is making sure that ball doesn't get behind him. So in a situation like that, with a knuckleball coming in, you're almost conceding in second base. With a count now 1-2.
He's going to get the best knuckleball he'll see.
1-2 pitch to Braun. Outside. 2-2.
Niekro knows he has to be tough here. He can't give up a base hit now because of the fact that Ozzie stole second base, and that's the go-ahead run. Comes the knuckleball again.
2-2 pitch. Low for ball 3. Full count. Kerr on deck. Coolest man in the park right now is Niekro.
You think he's going to throw him a fastball or a knuckleball?
Knuckleball, I think.
Absolutely. Got first base open. Here it comes. It's a knuckleball.
Grounded to the right side. Chambliss. From Niekro covering, and Phil escapes. So in the inning, they settle for a run, 4 hits, and leave 2. After 6 full, 3-2, Atlanta. The 6th inning, it's interesting. If Ozzie Smith doesn't steal second base, then Chambliss has to hold him on. Ball not hit that sharply, but Chris obviously would have had a lot further to go to come up with a base hit.
Jerry Royster.
So it's interesting. They send him down to second, but that's what you cost yourself sometimes. Tough to second guess yourself about a move like that, however.
Well, Ozzie could steal that base. That was a very important thing to do.
Sure.
He's the go-ahead run. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Hitting that ground ball was after the fact.
Now Doug Baer comes out of the St. Louis bullpen as we go to the 7th inning. Jerry Royster to lead things off. 3-2 Atlanta. Lined into left field for a base hit. Smith getting it back in. So Doug Baer,
Number 17.
whose wife Connie gave birth yesterday, working here tonight. Coming up Monday, an all-new That's Incredible, followed by Starting Over. Burt Reynolds, Candace Bergen, Jill Clayburgh. Network television premiere on the Monday night movie.
He's going to have to hold. Royster very, very close here. He's liable to steal on him. He's one of the guys that can steal for that Atlanta ball club. And here's a guy that he likes to hit and run with. Makes good contact, hits the ball all fields.
He's going to bunt him along. Baer makes the play over to first base. Hernandez for the putout. And Royster goes down to second.
Number 20.
One away in the 7th inning. And it brings up Bruce Benedict. Benedict walked in the 3rd and then scored the Braves' first run. Doubled in the 5th to send Hubbard over to 3rd once he scored on a fly ball by Niekro. In the Atlanta bullpen, there's Gene Garber. This is a little early for Garber. 7th inning, they normally like to close it out with him. But perhaps Torrey can afford to go with Gene a little bit earlier than maybe normally he would under the circumstances because Garber hasn't pitched in a week.
Well, Torrey's thinking about if he gets a good hitting situation, he could pinch hit for Niekro to try to pick up a couple of more runs with Garber in the bullpen.
Oh, and what? That's something that has to be on Joe's mind for 2 reasons. Number one, Niekro did work the other day with 4 1/3 innings in the rain-aborted game. And also, he may want to bring him back with 2 more days rest if there is a game 5.
And he pitched 6 strong, outstanding innings to keep him 3-2 ahead. So he's thinking possibly if he does get a hitting situation, why he will hit for Niekro.
And Biff Pocoroba has emerged from the dugout as you speak. Burchett. 0-2 pitch, a missed sign there, and it's 1-2. Ozzie Smith was ducking in at second behind Royster, and Bear came to the plate. They left the whole left side of the infield open. Here's Pocarova. Satori's figuring he got 6 very good innings out of Niekro. On 2 days rest after going 4 1/3. Why let him go any further? Why change it at this point when you've got a Garber and when you may have to bring Niekro back for Game 5 with everything on the table with 2 days rest?
Garber's been his bread and butter man all year, and he's the guy that has had that outstanding year for the Braves with 30-some saves.
30, yep. Royster at second, 1 out. Atlanta leading 3-2 in the 7th inning.
And that must have been on Joe's mind when he had Hubbard bunting.
Thinking ahead, knowing that
right.
The man they call Nuxie had gone about as far as he could go tonight. 3-2 the count. And he loses Benedict. So runners at first and second. 1 out. And Biff Pocarova, catcher by trade.
Niekro, number 4. Biff
Pinch hitting. Pocarova, seasonal figures right there. As a pinch hitter this season, Pocarova was 4 for 17, but he made the hits pay off. He had 9 runs batted in.
He's a tough hitter. He makes contact, and he hits the ball all over. You know, Biff was a switch hitter. And this year, he's concentrated on strictly batting from the left side. He's given up hitting from the right side.
Chopper to the right side. Kerr has 1 play. That's first base for the out, and the runners advance to second and third. So Royster moves up 90 feet, as does Benedict.
You might see an intentional walk right here.
The left-hand batting Washington coming up. There's Niekro with Ramirez on deck, first base open. So Niekro, his numbers for tonight reflected there. You go back to the regular season, in his last 34 1/3 innings, he's allowed 2 earned runs, 20 hits. It's a strange rotation. Think about the Atlanta rotation right now. You've got Niekro at 17-4. They were going to go with Boggs last night, and you're right here, Tommy. They'll walk him intentionally. They were going to use Boggs last night had it not rained. Boggs was 2-2. He was hurt most of the season. They used Perez the other night, who was in the minor leagues half the year at 4-4. And they come up tomorrow in Game 3 with Camp, who was 2 under 500. Rarely will you see a team go into the playoffs with a rotation like that.
But those 2 fellas down in the bullpen made the difference, Bedrosian and Garber.
It's a resourceful team. You've got to give the Braves enormous credit. For those of you who don't follow baseball very closely during the season and get interested in postseason play, it's just a remarkable story in itself. The team wins 13 straight to begin the year, build up a huge lead, blow it all, look like they fall out of the race, get back on top, start to fade again, 10 games to go, they're 3 games back, go on the road for their last 7, win 5 of those 7, and come up a winner.
They're to be commended. They never gave up. They kept battling, and that's why they're here today.
Ramirez at the plate. A strike. 0-1. Even in Atlanta, they were writing when the Braves fell out of it initially. They said the trip to Fantasy Island is over.
Another thing, they're in the playoffs without a left-handed pitcher, a starting pitcher, or a left-handed relief pitcher.
Keep the Cardinals close. Bases loaded, 2 down, 0-2 on Ramirez.
This is a very, very important situation for Bear and the Cardinals. If he gets him out, they're still in the ball game, and if Ramirez gets a base hit, that puts a pretty good cushion on him. Nice play by Porter. 2 strikes and 1 ball. He wasn't going to give him anything good to hit. Almost threw it away. Porter made a real good play.
With a count 0-2 here, If you're going to waste one, you don't want to waste it that badly with a man at third. And Darrell able to backhand it. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Hit in the air to left center field. Willie McGee is racing back in his room and is there and makes the catch. And the Cardinals are very much still in it.
And Morris hit that ball a long way.
No runs, a hit, lead 3, middle of the 7th. 3-2 Atlanta.
Forever.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Going to the bottom of the 7th inning, Gene Garbert comes in to pitch for the Atlanta Braves. Garbert, despite a losing record, 8-10. The key figure right there is the second one, saves. Also the ERA obviously outstanding at 2.34. So Garber, again, coming in a little bit earlier than he normally would, but he's well rested. And again, let's set it for you tomorrow. The American League Championship will be decided. One game for the title. 4 o'clock Eastern time. Probables there. Keeson for California. Vukovic for Milwaukee. And then we'll go to Atlanta. Game 3 coming up tomorrow night there at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
It's going to be some game in Milwaukee.
Oh, boy.
Game 5, the big one. All the marbles riding. The winner goes to the Fall Classic.
I imagine most of the Angels and the Brewers are probably looking on tonight, trying to get some sleep tonight. Trying to go to bed early.
Well, it's going to be very interesting.
Tough to sleep well, I would think, on a night like tonight.
I'd imagine so.
On the line tomorrow. Tommy Herr is the batter as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Gene Garber starts him with a strike. 0-1. Very big play in this game right now. You go back to the bottom of the 6th inning. Darrell Porter, that double to drive in Hernandez. But the relay from Washington to Ramirez, the shortstop, and then the throw into Horner to get Porter at third. Staved off any further damage. 3-2 Atlanta.
Because Hendricks got an infield hit at the next hitter,
right,
which would have resulted in the tying run scoring.
Right. Later in the inning, Ozzie Smith had a base hit. Foul away.
And they'd have still had another out.
The little things, a lot of little things tonight.
Garber's become very, very effective. He has really come up with a real good changeup. He relies on a real good sinking fastball that sinks very well and a changeup. And this is what his bread and butter pitches are. He'll give you a real good motion and then throw you a changeup. He's way ahead of her. Got him 2 strikes and no ball.
And down he goes. Tommy Herr can't believe the call by Bob Engel. All right, you check it out. On the corner, according to Engel.
The pitch looked like it painted that inside corner.
Here's Oberkfell. 0 for 3. And Garber stumbles. Of course, that doesn't mean anything with nobody on base. It's like it never happened.
Right.
Scoops it up. 3 unassisted. 2 down, and Lonnie Smith is the batter. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Here he is, the spinning top on the mound, Tommy. Style of Garber.
He turns his back to the hitter. He becomes very deceptive. He hides the ball very, very well. And that's what makes him tough to hit. Difficult for the batter to pick up the ball. Here he hides it right there.
Outside to Lonnie Smith, 1-0.
You don't see his hand in the baseball until the last moment. He's guarding the line. He doesn't want the ball to be hit between him and the bag for an extra base hit.
Down in his direction. 1-1. I've seen guys hug lines before. That's about as close as you're going to play.
That's what you have to do in this situation. You must guard the line and not give the batter the double. He'll hit a ball. They'll give him the base hit between third and short, but not the ball down the line.
1-1 pitch. Got pulled so much he lost his bat, and the count is 1-2. Nobody on. Garver ahead on the count. Garver started his big league career back in '69 when he came up with the Pirates. Pitched with Kansas City, the Phillies, went to the Braves in '78. And Lonnie Smith goes down swinging. Nothing doing for the Cards through 7. 3-2 Atlanta. Back in St. Louis after this word from our local stations. Some final scores for you. West Virginia over Boston College by 7. Alabama beating Penn State by 3 touchdowns. Virginia Tech eking one out over Duke. Georgia rolling. North Carolina likewise. Illinois in a wild one. 4-point win.
Look how deep.
Iowa over Indiana by 4. Missouri, Kansas State, a 7-7 tie. Here's Dale Murphy as we go to the 8th inning, fouling one away, and the count is 0-1.
Look how deep Ozzie Smith is playing Murphy.
Smith at shortstop. As you can see behind the white line, I'm moving in a step or so. Fast surface here. 1-1. Again, we'll point out what we did the other night as you look at some other final scores. Michigan winning by 14. Northwestern, what a year. 2 wins. Notre Dame by 2. Wisconsin beating the Buckeyes. Nebraska, 7th ranked. Arkansas, 9th ranked. Winning today. 1-1 pitch is hit into left field for a base hit. Point wanted to make on Murphy again. Those of you who don't follow it day by day. Big man, power hitter. Think about those fellas as big lumbering guys with no speed. That's not the case. Murphy with very good speed and a threat to steal.
He'll steal that base on you. He's very quick.
Base hit here. That's his first hit in the championship series. He was 0 for 4 Thursday night, and now 1 for 4 tonight. And Chris Chambliss, the batter. Chambliss 0 for 3 tonight, and 0 for 6 in the 2 games. Atlanta 3, St. Louis 2 in the 8th inning. Auburn beat Kentucky. Shocker there. Washington by 43 in what should have been a closer game. You would have figured going in.
There's my team, the Air Force. I love that institution.
The Falcons, huh? High for a ball, 1-0 on Chambliss.
I was fortunate enough to speak to the Air Force Academy this past winter, and I'll tell you, what a treat and a delight it was to be there. Really proud of those cadets.
Did you hug them or give them the high five?
Everything. I was really proud of them.
Hub Kittle now, the pitching coach, going out. Doug Baer, as we referenced earlier, his wife giving birth yesterday. Saw before the game, he said, I didn't get him any sleep last night. I was at the hospital. I'm so excited. And the whole bit. He got into trouble in the previous inning. As you see, Bruce Sutter. Sutter normally would be up and throwing if the Cardinals had the lead. They want to bring him in out in front, but in a situation like this, championship series, Whitey going to him in arrears right now. Sunday, this week with David Brinkley, that's tomorrow, our highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression, 10.1%. What will be its impact on the November elections? White House Chief of Staff James Baker and former Vice President Walter Mondale join David Brinkley tomorrow. Now this time called again is some more garbage out on the field. And we also have a fella out there. So, a scene we've grown, unfortunately, accustomed to late in the season. And they will escort him from the premises. It's always an interesting reaction. Most of the people don't want to see the guy out there in the first place. And then they take him away and they boo the security people. Stoppage here while they get the guy out of here. Count 1-0 with nobody out.
Another reason why Whitey may have Suter warming up is that he's saying to himself, we have 2 more at-bats, and we're going to try not to give the Braves another run and try to hold them to where we can score. And the Braves are trying to put a little cushion to keep Suter out of the game.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Tonight, Clemson, third quarter, no problems. Fourth quarter there, A&M by 3. Georgia Tech by 3, fourth quarter. And a shocker there. LSU coming from behind, leading in the third.
Looked like Murphy was going on that pitch. He had him leaning. It's the ideal pitch to go on.
Murphy had 23 stolen bases this season. Fourth quarter there. That upset still in the making. Baylor led by 13 at the half. Now we've got time called again.
This could be a run and hit situation. Bear must throw a strike.
Out by Smith. Murphy probably would have beaten it anyway had he come up with it cleanly. So Murphy with a stolen base here in the 8th inning. Another look. Porter threw a man out the other night with a terrible throw. This one is a better throw, but doesn't get the job done as Ozzie can't scoop it out of the dirt. Murphy going in with that left arm to the outside. Now with the count.
Wow.
Oh, boy. For ball 4, that was pretty close. Pete Rose swings at that pitch. If they try to walk him intentionally. So Chambliss goes to first. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Now Whitey Herzog.
He's telling the umpire that if he takes him out, he's going to make a double switch because he wants to keep Suter from coming to bat the next inning.
What he's doing, he's going to take Lonnie Smith out. In left field, since Smith made the last out. There he is. He made the last out. And they'll put Suter in his spot. Bring in David Green to play left. And when we come back in the 8th inning with nobody out, Atlanta runners at first and second. They lead 3-2. Bruce Suter ready to work in the 8th inning now. Runners at first and second. Bob Horner 0 for 3 tonight. Takes outside. Ball 1. That double switch. David Green goes in to play left field. Green hits 9th. And then Suter bats in Lonnie Smith's spot, number 3, since Smith made the last out in the preceding inning.
As you notice, Whitey went to the plate umpire. And the reason why he did that, he has to notify the umpire before he walks out to the mound that he will make the double switch. If he walks to the mound, then takes the pitcher out, and then tries to take the left fielder out, he can't do it.
I saw poor Charlie Fox make that move when he was managing the Giants one night in Pittsburgh. Team in the throes of a losing streak. Tried to make the switch, but didn't tell him it was simultaneous. Had 2 guys in, both in the wrong spot in the order. 2-1 to count. Murphy is at second. Chambliss is at first. Nobody out in the 8th inning. Suter, premier relief pitcher in the National League over the past 4 seasons. He's led the National League in saves. 30 36 this season, and 37 back in '79 with Chicago. And he gets Horner.
He's tough. I've seen this guy so many times do the job. He's very tough. And, you know, because he throws a split-finger fastball, which reacts almost like a knuckleball. He developed the pitch under the tutelage of pitching coach Fred Martin when he was with the Cubs. And had he not come up with that pitch, he was just doing a so-so job. And then when he did develop it, and he's the only one that can do it, he became one of the premier pitchers in baseball.
Royster at the plate. They're running from second. The throw down to Oberkfell, and they nail Murphy. So Dale Murphy, figuring he could steal third. Chambliss remained at first with a double steal either not on or somebody missed a sign, and Murphy is gone. Ooh. Pretty close play there. The tag made on one knee and the other foot in there. Second out of the inning. And 0-1 the count on Royster. 0-2. Here it is again. Oberkfell gloving it. The throw is right there. Right foot gets to the bag. Tag is made on the left knee. He's there. Yes, he is. He was in there. Dutch Rennert, with that benefit of a replay, of course, to third base on a bang-bang play. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Back to Suter, and Bruce gets this crowd fired up as he gets out of the jam in the 8th inning. Bruce goes to Chan at the end of 7.5 at Busch Stadium. Atlanta 3 and St. Louis 2. Keith Hernandez will lead things off for the Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll be followed by Darrell Porter and George Hendrick. Atlanta leading 3-2. Cardinals leading in the series 1-0.
Very exciting game, Al. And, you know, when I mentioned about Suter throwing a split-finger fastball, and it reacts like a knuckleball or a forkball, it's a little bit different. The split-finger fastball is thrown with the fingers slightly spread apart, whereas the forkball, you open your fingers as far as they can go, and then you stick the ball in it. And that's the difference between a forkball and a split-fingered fastball. A lot of fellas have tried to come up with this pitch, but unable to do so.
Dale Murphy has moved to left field, and Brett Butler, you saw him, he comes in defensively now in center field as Royster comes out. Scoring summary now, Cardinals getting a run in the first on a wild pitch. In the 3rd inning, Benedict the walk, and then the key play, Ramirez a single. McGee overran it, 3-base error, 2-1.
Number 1, Jerry Royster.
5th inning, Atlanta made it 3-1. Necro driving in Hubbard with a sacrifice fly. 6th inning, Hernandez with a base hit, and Porter with a double to drive in a run, and then he was thrown out at third. Royster stays in the game. Royster comes in from left field to play third. The man who goes out of the game is Horner. And there's Jerry now, and you can put Butler in Horner's spot, number 5.
Joe has tightened up his defense. Butler is in center field. He can really go get the ball. Royster's an outstanding third baseman.
Keith Hernandez rounds it down to Hubbard, picks it up off his hip and throws him out. Tough play for Glenn. Ball picking up speed on the turf. And here's the play featuring Darrell Porter, the next batter, 6th inning. Now watch here, he drives in a run with a double. Hernandez comes in to score while this takes place. But now Washington throwing to Ramirez, the shortstop, who was the cutoff man, and down to third to Horner to get Porter going in. He would have scored on the base hit by Hendrick next, and had he done that, we would have been tied right now. So a very big play at the moment. On the throw from Washington to Ramirez into Horner as Porter looks at a strike and the count is 0-1. 1-1 now the count.
In this situation, Al, Porter's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and what Barber is trying to do is keeping the ball away from him to where he can't hit it out of the park.
Darrell hit 12 this season. He was second on the club. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Darrell's right. The end. This season, only 3 came here. Atlanta leading 3-2, 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 8th inning. Fouled away. 2-2. Delivery. Full count.
Whitey's thinking right now that if Porter Cassoni may use a pinch runner.
And he's aboard. So Darrell Porter, a perfect night, 2 walks, 2 doubles.
Number 25.
He's the tying run, and Hendrick is the batter. For the moment, anyway, no stirring in the Cardinal dugout as to a pinch runner. Perhaps he would run for Darrell, were able to advance to second. Dependent on what Hendrick does here. George 1 for 3. Grounded toward the middle. That's a base hit into center field. Porter is around second, and he'll go to third as Butler's throw comes in. So Busch Stadium erupting as Hendrick, who had an infield single in the 6th inning off Niekro, rounds one through the middle into center field, putting runners at first and third with 1 out, provoking a visit from Torrey. In terms of anybody else coming in, forget it. There's no activity in the Atlanta bullpen. You live and die with this man. The only other man you could think about would be Bedrosian. So Torrey out for a word, and also in the infield with runners at first and third.
It's going to be very interesting to see how he sets up his defense because of the fact that with Green the hitter, he's very, very tough to double off.
McGee, who's also tough.
Excuse me.
Right.
And he doesn't have anybody warming up in the bullpen, so he's going to definitely stay with Garver.
Willie McGee has struck out 3 times tonight, but that was against Niekro. So he couldn't hit the knuckleball. And now he'll face Garver. Runners at first and third. Porter at third. Hendrick at first. 1 away.
Well, the second baseman's playing back, Al. They're playing back in double play depth.
McGee hit into 9 double plays this season. More than you would think for a fellow at his speed, who was here only 75% of the year. Little chopper foul off to the right, and the count is 0-1. So Porter, the tying run. Back to third. Hendrick, the lead run. Chambliss holding him on. McGee, the rookie.
Garver's taking strikeout. He's got to strike this guy out, he feels.
Crowd roaring. And the 0-1 pitch to McGee is in at his feet. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bullpen. Semien gets up. Steve throwing. Play in the game right now. Overrunning Ramirez's base hit. Go to first base. So all they'll be talking about if the Cardinals lose is McGee. If they win, they'll be talking about it if he can deliver here. In for a strike, and the count is 1-2. McGee goes after a pitch well out of the strike zone, chops it over Garber's head. Ramirez is playing halfway, comes in. He's thinking about a double play because he makes the tag there, but he has no chance because McGee is so swift he's down at first base. So we're tied 3-3. McGee at first base.
And look for McGee to run. If he gets the opportunity right here now, he's going to have to hold him very, very close without Smith hitting. Throw over there a few times.
McGee had 24 steals this year. One problem Willie had this year was getting picked off a lot. A rookie, and we saw the problems he had running the bases the other night. A throw to first base.
See, with a guy like Garber who takes that turn around to deliver the ball, it'll give that runner an extra step or two.
McGee is taking a very short lead there, Tommy. A fellow at his speed normally would like to get out more, but he's got to think back, and the Cardinals know if he's been watching him all year. Occasionally he does get picked off.
That's the reason why. Now he's being very, very cautious, and he's not taking that extra step. He doesn't want to get picked off. Smith actually thought he was going to run taking that pitch. Garber will keep throwing over there. The best thing you can do when you have a guy that can run or likes to steal is try to hold the ball as long as you can. That will get him off the balls of his feet, and eventually he'll get back on his heels because he can't stay up there too long.
Al Lanier, the coach at first base, the lawn with him. 0-1 the count. Game tied 3-3, 2 out, bottom of the 8th.
Garber's very cagey down there. He'll throw over there, he'll step off, he'll keep that guy close as possible.
There he goes, and it's grounded foul outside first. So they send him 0-2. And him back now. Willie McGee. Ozzie Smith wants a new bat. For Smith, that's a pretty good figure, all things considered, because Ozzie lifetime would be well under that figure. Smith, 235 lifetime batter. Tomorrow night, Rick Camp and Joaquin Andujar. The matchup will be in Atlanta, 8 o'clock Eastern time. McGee at first, 2 guys. What's going on in a situation like that now, Tom, with Benedict going out there?
Benedict's telling him to hold him real close.
Well, he's been doing that.
Well, that's what he's telling.
You're not going to pick Willie off with that lead. The final score right there, SMU coming from behind to win to avoid the upset. McGee doesn't go and they pitch out. 1-2 the count. Say, McGee's not going to get picked off with the lead he's taking unless he gets fooled by Garber's motion.
He can fall down and be on the bag.
Yeah. Well, he was going back in, standing up.
When you can get back to the base very easy, that means you're not taking enough lead.
1-2 pitch. Fouled away. The chances are with Garber, you're not going to be fooled with Gene the way he delivers. He's not going to get you leaning the other way, really, like some other pitchers would.
Well, Willie McGee's, he's a rookie. He's just starting out in the big leagues, and he's just not able to pick up any keys on the pitcher as well as the more experienced base stealer will. But eventually he will pick up those different keys and be able to steal a lot more bases. Get back awful easy.
Well, again, pointing it out, he's been burned so many times this year. You don't want to get burned here. Critical juncture of the game, playoffs. You're the time for go-ahead run. Grounded down to the right side. Hubbard up with it, and he throws Smith out. So it takes a while, but Garber works out of the 8th after the Cardinals get a run to tie it. We're tied 3-3 back after this from our local station. We go to the 9th inning in St. Louis. Al Michaels with Tom Lasorda. A 3-3 tie in Game 2. Glenn Hubbard to lead off. Bruce Benedict to follow. Then Garber's spot. Suter not having success at all this year against the Braves during the regular season. Hubbard takes a strike. Suter, as he's prone to do, more comfortable out of the stretch with nobody on base, fouling it away. It's something more and more pitchers seem to be going to.
Al Holland of the Giants is another one who does it all the time.
The left-hander. Bruce Suter and Gene Garber locked up in this one. Both men born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. 1-2. You're going to throw one onto the screen. That's a good time to do it. Nobody on base.
2 strikes, 2.
Yep. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Braves. 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. Bruce Suter pitched well with the Cubs, but like Bruce pointed out recently, 37 saves over there wasn't doing him any good. 1-2 pitch is outside. 2-2 the count. So Whitey Herzog got him. Remember, he picked up Raleigh Fingers from San Diego, then got Suter, then sent Fingers up to Milwaukee. Kept Bruce to center field, and McGee is there. 1 away. is the batter. When the Cardinals bat in the bottom of the inning, they'll have David Green leading off. He came into the game in the 7th inning in the number 9 spot. Then you go to the top of the order, Herr and Oberkfell.
Followed by the pitcher spot.
A strike. That's right, because Suter's hitting in the number 3 spot with Lonnie Smith out of the game. Both catchers have had perfect nights. Darrell Porter, 2 walks, 2 doubles. Benedict, 2 walks, 1 double. Ozzie Smith back of the line. That's short. And Oberkfell deep at third. They've got Hernandez deep at first. Galloway again. 0-2.
Both hitters this inning, Suter's had them 2 strikes and no balls.
Infield can afford to play back with Benedict at the plate. I'm not going to repeat what you said the other night.
Bruce and I had lunch yesterday. We were talking about it.
Foul away. He didn't mind it. Some people in Atlanta got all upset.
He thought it was cute.
2 strikes.
He's a super guy, tremendous competitor.
One out, bases empty. 9th inning. 1-2. Bruce Suter got off to a great start this season. He went into a swale period, though, in May and June. Then he rebounded from that, and he was unconscious the last 3 months. Untouchable. Down to Smith. 2 gone.
The vacuum.
So 2 away. And Gene Garber batting for himself.
Number 26, pitcher Gene Garber.
Garber hit 133 this season. So this is a mismatch. In for a strike.
Joe figures he's got to send his best out there in the 9th inning, and this is the man that's been it for him.
1-1 the count. Garber doesn't get to hit very often. Up only 15 times this year. 2 hits. 1-2. Suter down off the mound, fielding up along the line, and he does the job in the top of the 9th. So the Cardinals coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. The score tied 3-3. National League Series, of course, is 2 days behind because of the 2 rainouts. Cardinals in Atlanta will be with you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So the American League will be over tomorrow, and we could be going till Tuesday. Cardinals have other ideas, however. They're looking for a sweep. They lead 1-0. We're tied here in game 2, 3-3, bottom of the 9th inning. Gene Garber will go to work on David Green, Tommy Herr, and Ken Oberkfell.
Now for the Redbirds, number 22, left fielder David Green.
He's got Jim Cott warming up. The pitcher's hitting 4th this inning, and if he gets in a hitting situation, he may have to go to the pinch hitter.
Blockbuster trade with Milwaukee in the winter of 1980, and one of the key men in the deal, right along with pitcher Dave LaPointe, also Larry Sorensen and Sixto Liscano came in that deal. Ted Simmons, Wally Fingers, and Pete Vukovich went to the Brewers. So they gave up a lot. when they brought McGee up, and they couldn't get Willie out of the lineup. Fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Green. Green, born in Nicaragua. The 1-1 pitch to him. It's the outside corner. Wicked pitch. 1-2. Again.
The way he could hit that pitch.
Tailing
Look at
away.
that.
Gets the corner. 1-2.
Great pitch.
That one he turned over, but ran back in on it.
Well, see, usually when you throw that breaking ball away, you got that hitter leaning over, looking for the ball out of the way, and that's why Garber came inside with him. He wants to keep him honest.
So Gene indicating the count, making sure it was 2-2. Bob Engel says yes. And the 2-2 pitch is grounded to the hole and through for a base hit. So the winning run is on. And with Royster playing close to the line of third, Green able to find the hole, get it through, and there's the winning run. And there's a man whose team is trying to avoid going down 0-2. Again,
You got to look for Dane Orr to come out in a situation to pinch hit for Suter.
Tommy Herr coming up, probably to bunt. What you would normally do in this situation with a winning run at first base. How about Green's speed, Tommy?
Outstanding. Tremendous speed.
Put him in the clash with McGee.
Yes, you put him in that clash, yes. And here, you know, it was a tremendous double switch by Whitey Herzog, and that's why Green was hitting in that situation in the pitcher spot.
Go to first base. Green, in only 76 games this season, and off times as a pinch hitter or defensive replacement, still had 11 steals. Royster well in at third. Waiting for the bunt. Hurst squares, lays it down. Good bunt, does the job.
Super bunt. He deadened that ball very good, whereas he didn't bunt the ball too hard back to the pitcher. And that's the secret of bunting, is deadening the ball coming off the bat. If the hitter goes out with the bat, then the ball will come off a lot harder. He takes the ball, hit the bat, and then a slight give with the hands, allowing the ball to come off very slowly.
And that's what you have to do here when everybody in the ballpark knows you're going to lay one down. So Garber over to Hubbard covering. And the winning run is at second. Now Torrey goes to the mound. Oberkfell is the batter. You've got first base open. Now you've got the number 3 spot occupied by Suter. Up next, Whitey Herzog's not going to tip his hand for the moment. He sent Suter out into the on-deck circle as they discuss strategy.
Well, he's asking him who he'd rather pitch against, Oberkfell or Hernandez or the pinch hitter. And Garber's going to tell him whether he's going to walk him intentionally or not.
Well, let's see what Garber told him, and Torrey's got to know it too, because Oberkfell is 6 for 10 lifetime against Garber.
And Garber may not even put him on intentionally. If he doesn't, he's not going to give him anything good to hit.
So Oberkfell, 6 for 10. Not only that, but a home run for a man who hits very few. In fact, he has only 8 in his career.
And he could set up the double play also.
So Garber's been no mystery to him, and yet
He's going to pitch
they're
to
going
him.
to pitch to him.
Rest assured he won't give him anything good to hit.
It could be an intentional walk, but he does give him something, and he rips it foul. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to count. I wonder if Torrey is aware of that particular figure. Joe is in his first year with Atlanta, and those stats with Garber go back a little ways. Gene's got to know it. Maybe not the exact figure, but he knows Oberkfell hits him. 0-1. 1 out. Game time, 3-3.
It's a very, very, very tough situation right here.
a single. Green comes in to score. Butler couldn't make the play, and the Cardinals come from behind. Watch it again. Butler going back, reaching up, almost made the catch. But Oberfeld teeing off to right center. Butler just missing it. And the Cardinals, as we take a look at another view of it, from center field, reaching up. It gets by him, and the Cardinals are one game away from the World Series. Come from behind in the seesaw game. They led 1-0, trailed 2-1, trailed 3-1 in the sixth, got a run in the sixth, get one in the eighth to tie it, and win it in the ninth as 53,408 rock to the strains of celebration at Busch Stadium. Isolation now on Green as he watches. Green wasn't even tagging on that play, interestingly enough, at second base. He was so excited, caught up in the moment.
He was watching the ball. He was watching the ball. The moment he saw the ball go over Butler's head, that's when he started clapping and took off.
Exactly. St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, they put the Atlanta Braves in the same position that the California Angels put the Milwaukee Braves in. Now they're going back to Atlanta to the confines of their home field.
They'll be in Atlanta for Game 3 tomorrow. It'll be a happy starter down to Georgia tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals who beat the Braves 4-3. We'll be right back. Brought to you by Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. And by Chevrolet, who invites you to take charge of a new Chevrolet car or truck at your Chevrolet dealers now. Clear skies, temperature in the 70s, more than 50,000 at Busch Stadium. As we get set for the start of Game 2, right now, Tony Tennille at the microphone for the singing of our national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Rousing ovation for Tony Tennille at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The crowd settling in. Necro against Stuper. The matchup, the start of Game 2 in just a moment.
Baseball fever. Catch it. It lasts forever.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
A fitting touch now at St. Louis as the ceremonial first ball will be thrown out by the children of the late Ken Boyer, the longtime Cardinal third baseman, former manager of the Cardinals, who died several weeks ago of cancer. This Mrs. Susan Hartwig, children David, Jane, and Danny Boyer, and the crowd here in St. Louis with the ovation as they are introduced, remembering full well one of the most popular Cardinals of all time. Children of Kenny Boyer throwing out the first ball preparatory to game number 2. In the lineup tonight, first for the Atlanta Braves, Cordell Washington to lead things off in right field. The shortstop is Rafael Ramirez batting second. Big man in the lineup, Dale Murphy hitting third and center. Chris Chambliss in the cleanup spot tonight. Bob Horner at third base. He's been playing despite the hyperextended elbow. The great utility man, Jerry Royster, the shine in left field. Glenn Hubbard, the glue in the infield at second. Bruce Benedict catching Necro tonight. And Phil on the mound at the age of 43. As we look at the Cardinal defense, Keith Hernandez at first base. The second baseman is Tommy Herb. The Cardinal shortstop, Ozzie Smith, over in the Gary Templeton deal during the offseason. And at third base, Ken Oberkfell. Cardinals with a good inner defense and a lot of speed in the outfield. Lonnie Smith in left. The rookie Willie McGee will be in center. He started the season with John Stuper at Louisville. And George Hendrick, who led the club in runs batted in, is in right field. Back of the plate is Darrell Porter. And on the mound for St. Louis is John Stuper. And this had to be the last place he thought he would be when he started the season. John Stuper beginning the year in AAA ball at Louisville. And here's what Whitey Herzog had to say about him.
John Stuper's a kid that was very impressive in my spring training camp in 1981. I sent him out at the time. He had no AAA experience, and he went to AAA. I saw him pitch numerous times during the strike. He had a bad year. He was 5-14. He was pitching high. He couldn't get the ball down. He didn't pitch winter ball last year like he did. He rested, came to spring training. Wasn't very impressive. I'd have to say he was throwing the ball good, but he still couldn't get the job done because he just hung too many sliders, got too many balls up. So that's his year at AAA. Won 7 out of 8, had an ERA of 1.45. When Andy Rincon faltered, and I wanted to bring in a right-handed ripper, I brought him up, and he's been a lifesaver to us. The thing he's done best is pitch against pressure in big ball games. He's beat Venezuela in L.A. He's beat Atlanta on a 4-hitter in Atlanta. He beat the Phillies the night after Carlton shut us out to take a half-game lead. He's the guy that pitched the shutout. So he's been a lot of big ball games, and he's strived on pressure. And I tell you, he's got good pitching know-how. He's a real bright young man, and he's got a good arm.
That had to figure in Whitey's decision. Pitching under pressure here at Busch Stadium, not a home run hitter's park by any stretch of the imagination. Symmetrical, 330 down the line, 386 to the gaps, and 414 to straightaway center. Here we go finally with game number 2. Cordell Washington to lead things off, and the first pitch of the game is taken for a strike. Washington, Ramirez, and Murphy in the first inning. Quickly.
Atlanta wants to get they want to get their offense going because they want to get back to the confines of Atlanta, where they love to play in that ballpark and in front of their enthusiastic fans. They're going to have to get something going here. Joe Torre and Atlanta Braves want to go home with a split.
The umpiring alignment, Bob Engel working the plate. No balls, 2 strikes on Washington, who had 2 hits in game 1. Up high, 1-2. Washington, the player of the month in the National League in September. In the game that was rained out, he was 1 for 3 and scored the only run of the aborted contest. 1-2, count holding.
They're trying to jam Washington. They want to keep the ball in tight on him, and as you can see, Porter, as soon as he gives his sign, he'll give the location to Stuper, and he'll move in on the breaking ball and in the fastball.
1-2 delivery. He's hit in the air. Center field. Willie McGee coming in. Makes the catch. 1 away in the first inning. And we'll take a look at Rafael Ramirez. John Stuper, 25 years old. Born, lives in Butler, Pennsylvania. Started his pro career in the Pittsburgh organization in 1978. 18th round draft choice by the Pirates. and then in a minor league deal sent to St. Louis prior to the '79 season. Ramirez batting with 1 out. Takes a strike, 0-1.
There's some Pennsylvania boys out there. You know, you've got Stuper, and you have Herr, and you have Suter, you've got Garber. They're all from the state of Pennsylvania.
Tommy Lasorda from Norristown, of course. 1-1 the count. 92 miles an hour, the clocking, to give you an idea of how hard Stuper can throw. The other day, of course, we saw Andujar up in the 90s. Petrosian came out of the Atlanta pen up in the 90s, but he was ineffective the other night. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Ramirez. Raphael hit .278 during the regular season and provided surprising power with 10 home runs. 1-2 delivery. Did he check? No. Comes around and he gets him. So Stuper throwing a breaking ball well out of the strike zone, and quickly 2 gone.
Ramirez thought that he didn't swing on this ball, but he certainly did, and it was a very, very bad breaking ball. That was the right kind of pitch. When you're ahead 2 strikes, you throw that kind of ball, you can't get hurt.
And Engel, the plate umpire, was sure himself. Sometimes on a swing like that, they'll appeal. You might get the call from first base, but Engel called him out here. 2 gone. Dale Murphy is the batter. Runs it in on him. 0-1 the count.
What a year this young man has had. He is an outstanding ball player, both offensively and defensively. And he has been a contributing factor to the drive for the Atlanta club. And in my opinion, he has all the credentials to be the MVP of the league.
He certainly did up until early September. 0-2 the count. He tailed off at the end. Part of the problem was he did not have Bob Horner hitting behind him. He wasn't seeing perhaps the pitches he would have seen had Horner been in the lineup. Still, he wound up tied with Al Oliver for the league lead in RBIs. Checked here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. No score. Game 2. The Cardinals winning Game 1, best of 5. This is the final game in St. Louis. Tomorrow, Game 3 at Atlanta. 1-2 pitch. Just low. 2-2 the count.
Excuse me, Ty.
If you're wondering, last night, as you take a look at the graphic illustrating Murphy's durability this year, Pete Rose was one of the others, along with Steve Garvey and Johnny Ray, as Murphy looked at call strike 3. So Stuper begins by setting down the side in order, striking out a pair after a half. It's Atlanta 0, and the Cardinals coming up. Cardinal lineup. Tommy Herr to lead things off. Herr hit .266 during the regular year. Ken Oberkfell is at third base. He was very hot down the stretch. Lonnie Smith bats third, wound up hitting .307. Cleanup hitter is Keith Hernandez at .299. That was his lifetime mark. Darrell Porter hits fifth. He's back of the plate in front of George Hendrick, who has a lot of problems against knuckleballers. Willie McGee is in center field, batting seventh. Ozzie Smith at shortstop. And the man on the mound for the Cardinals, John Stuper, who set down Washington, Ramirez, and Murphy. 1, 2, 3. The Braves defensively, the infield of Chambliss, Hubbard, Ramirez, and Horner. Outfield of Royster, Murphy, and Washington. Bruce Benedict is back of the plate. Phil Niekro is on the mound. If you're wondering, the last time Niekro started with 2 days rest, 1977, early in the season. In April, he started against the Dodgers, pitched 5 1/3 innings, came back with 2 days rest against Cincinnati, and pitched only 2/3 of an inning in a game in which the final score was 23-9. Niekro the other day, going 4 1/3 innings, he threw 65 pitches.
While Niekro was taking his warm-up pitches, we could see that Whitey had Bob Engel over on the side, and he was talking to him. And I know one thing, he wasn't asking him where he was going to go to eat after the game.
He was talking about what you talked about in the pregame show, about what the Cardinals feel is a balk move. Whitey was out to argue that in the rained-out game on Wednesday. Tommy Herr taking outside, ball 1. Herr, Oberkfell, and Smith in the bottom of the first inning. Tommy is a switch hitter, but again, we'll point it out if you weren't with us for the earlier telecast. No lefties on the Atlanta staff. 1-1. Herr is a switch hitter who had more success this year against right-handers by far than lefties. 2-1.
Phil's going to face a team that is contact hitters. They hit the ball to the opposite field a great deal. They run. They very rarely strike out, and they very rarely hit into double plays. These fellas do not overswing.
2-1 the count on her, who takes outside for ball 3. Now, you saw Necro's record on the road this season. An unbelievable 14-1. The one loss, 1-0. There's Ted Turner, the owner of the Atlanta Braves, in his box near the Atlanta dugout. Had nothing to cheer about in Game 1. The 3-1 pitch is outside. Nothing to cheer about this far tonight either. So Herb at first base, and Oberfeld is the batter.
At first, number 10, third baseman, Ted Oberfeld.
Cardinals, their attack illustrated very, very well the other night. The type of team they are. 13 hits, 11 singles, 1 double, 1 triple. They'll not bludgeon you to death. They were last in the league in home runs. And, of course, when you have that type of attack, you rarely strike out. Cardinals, in fact, trailed only the Dodgers in fewest strikeouts this season for a team. Grounded down to the right side. Hubbard goes to Ramirez for 1. Back to first, and not in time there. Oberfeld legging it out. Ramirez slightly out of sequence coming across the bag at second base.
They get out of the batter's box very, very fast, and up to double them off, as you saw right there.
Take a look here. It's a tailor-made double play ball down to Hubbard at second. To Ramirez. From that angle, Rafael looks like he gets off a decent throw from second base, but not in time. Lonnie Smith hit .307 during the regular season. Hits it in the right field for a base hit. Oberfeld is on his way to third, and he's in there. So here we go again, a la Thursday.
Never hesitated. He went from first to third without any problem whatsoever.
So Nico in immediate trouble here. Smith going the other way by Chambliss out into right field.
There's a situation now where you have the Chambliss holding the runner on, and Hubbard close to second base in order to make the double play. So you create a big hole on that right side, and that's why Lonnie Smith went in that direction.
Runners at first and third, 1 gone. Keith Hernandez is the batter. Very few of the Cardinals with good career stats against Nico. As a matter of fact, the other day there was some speculation George Hendrick might not play, contending that Nico puts him into a slump. Bruce Benedict needs a new glove.
And Necro has sent many a guy back to the lunch bucket,
Yes.
believe me.
So Benedict, who's the man on the spot, he's got the oversized glove, which helps to an extent. Go to first base.
He's got a very quick move to first base. Very quick. In order to have that good move to first base, you've got to have quick feet, and that's what Phil does.
Infield, double play depth again, and again to throw to first base. Lonnie Smith, second in the league in steals this season. Trailed only Tim Raines. He wound up with 68.
There's a very tough out. Keith Hernandez is a contact hitter. He hits the ball off fields, and he's an extra base power hitter. Hits a lot of balls in the alleys.
Low for a ball. He is not your prototypical cleanup hitter, but that sort of indicates the team that the Cardinals have built, a team that doesn't rely on the home run. They've got a man who hit only 7 home runs batting cleanup, but he does the job.
He drives in a lot of runs.
Yep. 94 during the regular year. Outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. No score, but St. Louis threatening in the bottom of the first inning.
There's a situation right here where Phil will not give in to this hitter. He is tough, and he knows he's got to hit his best stuff.
Time called. They've been celebrating in St. Louis. 2-0 pitch with Darrell Porter on deck. Niekro, back-to-back shutouts, closing the regular season against the Giants and the Padres. Then 4 1/3 shutout innings the other day, but of course that was washed away. In trouble here. 3-0 pitch gets the green light and whacks it foul down the left field line. 3-1.
You can rest assured now that if Lonnie Smith gets a jump, he's going to go.
The theory, I guess, they're swinging 3-0, Tommy, is that 3-0 you're probably going to get a fastball, so give him the green light.
That's right, and he knows that Niekro doesn't want to walk him, and he's going to come in with that fastball, and that's the good pitch to hit. It was a good call on the part of Whitey Herzog.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Hernandez grounds it foul down the right field line, and the count is full at 3-2. Oberkfell, the runner at third. Lonnie Smith held on by Chambliss at first with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals in their first postseason action in 14 years. Braves in the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. 3-2 pitch. Smith goes, and it's a little looper that's gloved on a hop by Ramirez. He throws to first for the out there, and Oberkfell holds at third. Had Ramirez been able to catch it on the fly, would have been an easy double play. Watch it again.
Oberkfell couldn't come in because he thought the ball was going to be caught, so he had to wait.
Ramirez coming in and has to short hop the ball, bare-handing it.
If he had caught the ball, it would have been a cinch double play because Smith was going from first to second on the pitch.
So runners now at second and third. 2 down. Porter is the batter. First base open, working on the left-hander here with the right-hand batting Hendrick next. Low for a ball.
And the good thing about Niekro in this situation, knowing that he has an outstanding catcher like Benedict, he is not afraid to throw that knuckleball at any time. Normally, when you have a good knuckleball pitcher, you have to worry about the catcher catching the ball.
1-1 the count. Whitey Herzog on the right. Red Schoendienst, now one of the Cardinal coaches, the man who managed the Cardinals longer than any man in the history of the franchise, was the man on the left. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Porter laying off, ball 2. 2-1. Porter, his second consecutive disappointing offensive season, and hit much better this year on the road than at home. Lays off here again, and it misses for ball 3.
It looked like the bottom fell out of that knuckleball. It's really amazing how Benedict handled that. Look at this pitch right here.
Extra pressure now on Benedict. If you let one get behind you with nobody on base, no problem.
He's the best I've seen catching the knuckleball.
You let one get behind you here, and it's 1-0. 3-1 pitch, and that one bounces away from Benedict and rolling into the Cardinals dugout. They're allowed to advance 1 base, so they get a run. Lonnie Smith has to stop at third.
That was
on the walk
tough
Porter.
Very tough pitch for Benedict to handle.
Here it is again. Niekro bouncing one with a man at third. And it was all Porter could do to get out of the way. Darrell made a good move. If he's hit by the pitch, then no run scores.
And
Benedict can't handle it. Right.
I don't know how he got out of the way of that pitch.
It rolls into the dugout. 1 base advance. So Oberkfell scores. Smith is now at third. Scored is a wild pitch. There's Lonnie. Runner at first is Porter drawing the walk. 1-0 Cardinals. Here's Hendrick. Inside, ball 1. 1-0. Niekro not prone to wild pitches. He made only 4 during the regular season. However, lifetime 194. How about Tommy John today up in Milwaukee? Who would figure that?
That is very, very unusual. Tommy John throwing 3 wild pitches.
1-1. Brewers tying that series. 5th game at County Stadium tomorrow. The winner winner to the series. The 1-1 pitch.
That is trouble. That is
Tough
trouble.
play for Ramirez, who throws on the run and just does get him to save a run. So in the inning, the Cardinals settle for 1 run, 1 hit, and leave 2. At the end of 1 full, the Cardinals won, and the Braves nothing. John Stuper, who looked very sharp in the first. Here's what John said earlier about pitching under a lot of pressure.
Key assignment.
Well, very much. I worry when I'm not nervous. I pitched against Fernando Valenzuela in Dodger Stadium, and I was very nervous and came up with a pretty good game. A few times this year, I felt comfortable in the big leagues. I just felt real comfortable here and had bad performances, so I'm looking forward to being a little nervous.
Bad news for the Braves, as he was nervous in the first and gets better in the second as Chambliss leads off the pitch outside, ball 1.
If you look back on last inning, you'll see how the Cardinals scored that 1 run. Oberfeld would look like a perfect double play ball, hustled down to first base and eliminated the double play, which gave Lonnie Smith the opportunity to hit the ball in the hole, which would not have been there with the double play, and consequently they scored a run.
2-0 pitch is low, and the other key thing, too, Darrell Porter, with his agility, able to get out of the way of the pitch at his feet. Going as a wild pitch, and heading St. Louis the lead. In for a strike to Chambliss, first taking all the way, and the count 3-1. Braves have been silent. They scored just 1 run, coming to bat 5 times in the rainout on Wednesday. Chambliss whacking it, and it's loved by her at second. Tommy Herr moving to his left, reaching up for the ice cream cone catch.
Again, goes to show what a fine defensive club they are.
Chambliss on what looked to be a solid base hit into right field, and judging his leap perfectly. Herr falling it in for the out. 1 gone. Bob Horner at the plate. In the air to center field. Willie McGee is right there. 2 guys. So the Braves leaving their bats, I guess, out on the coast. Remember, they came in here in the rain out on Wednesday. They scored 1 run in 5 at-bats. Shut out by force the other night. Stuper has set down the first 5 here tonight. And with 2 down in the second inning, Jerry Royster is the batter. Royster, the most valuable Brave during the stretch drive over the past couple of months. Hits it in the air, foul down the left field line. And out of play. Back in about 3 rows. 0-1.
Royster, the way they defense him, they want him to hit the ball to the other side of the field. They pitch him that way because that's the way they play him, and he's trying to get that bat out a little bit quicker so he can pull the ball.
Those numbers will tell you if you don't get to Stuper fairly early, you might be in some trouble. Who led the league in scoring and in home runs during the regular season, trying to get something started. Trailing 1-0 in the second inning. 2 out, bases empty. As it's grounded back toward the middle, Ozzie Smith can't glove it, and into center field for a base hit. So Royster is aboard. The field is in pretty decent shape. We've had a lot of rain, obviously, over the past 96 hours here as you watch Jerry single up the middle. The infield, of course, has been covered. It's slightly slick, however, because of all the moisture. And you can tell in the outfield, of course, the contrast in colors there.
Stuper created the Cardinal sin of pitching when he allowed a base hit with 2 strikes and no balls on the hitter. That's the time he's going to have to go to a certain area.
Hubbard at the plate, grounding it down to Hernandez. Right at the bag, and that's that for Atlanta. No runs, 1 hit, leave 1. In the middle of the second inning, it's the Cardinals 1, and the Braves nothing. Here's a man with a very tough mission, obviously, tonight, Bruce Benedict. Here's what his battery mate thinks about him.
Well, Phil, don't you unwittingly put enormous pressure on Benedict against a running club by the mere use of the knuckler?
Well, I don't think I put him on it. I think that the pressure is already maybe there because there are so many knuckleballs coming at him. I know he doesn't put any pressure on himself. We've talked about this before, and I don't think it's going to matter to him whether it's the playoff game or the middle of the game throughout the regular season. I think he's probably the finest knuckleball catcher I've ever seen, and it's a challenge to him. He accepts it. He likes to catch knuckleballs. He'll call it with men on third base, with men on second base. It really doesn't matter because I think he realized that if we're going to win, we're going to win with a knuckleball regardless of what the situation is.
Necro working on McGee here in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 the count. That was a question that Howard, of course, asked the other day. The coach not with us tonight. He's in Pittsburgh. He'll be back with us in Atlanta tomorrow.
You have to realize that this is a very, very tough pitch, first to develop and then to master. There are only three knuckleball pitchers in baseball. You have the Necro brothers, Joe, who's with the Houston Astros, and, of course, Charlie Huff with the Texas Rangers. It is a type of pitch that comes out of the fingers without any spin to it. It's thrown off the fingertips, and the pitcher doesn't know where it's going, nor does the catcher know where it's going. It's liable to break this way one time, break another way the next time. So if you can't catch it, you must realize it must be tough to hit.
Next pitch to McGee, just missing. Looked like Bob Engel ready to come up with the right arm. The other thing about the knuckleball is it puts less pressure on your arm, which is the reason why a Necro can still be going at 43 and why Hoyt Wilhelm was still going in his late 40s. McGee fouls it back.
Well, you know, I think Bob Uecker gave the best description on how to catch a knuckleball. Is when it gets by you, wait until it stops rolling and then go back and get it.
Get it, yeah. 2-2 pitch. Down goes McGee. Strikeout number 1 for Necro.
Number 1.
Comes Ozzie Smith. If a pitcher's going to come back with 2 days rest, as you look at what we have for you tomorrow, California, Milwaukee, Game 5, to determine it all, you'll see that 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central, 1 o'clock out on the coast. And we'll be in Atlanta tomorrow night for Game 3 at 8 Eastern time. Ozzie Smith at the plate with 1 out and the bases empty. A strike. Starting to say, if you come back with 2 days rest, it's easier if you're a knuckleball pitcher. Remember, years ago, Chuck Tanner, for a good part of the season when he was with the White Sox, had Wilbur Wood pitching every 3rd day.
That's right.
Wood's specialty, the knuckler.
One of the great knuckleball pitchers, Hoyt Wilhelm, could pitch every day when he was a relief pitcher with it.
1-1 pitch. 1-2 now. More than 53,000 looked on for Game 1 in that neighborhood again tonight. 1-2 pitch is outside. If there's been a winner in this series so far, it's the people that own the hotels and run the restaurants and bars. A bonanza for them. 2 extra days and a lot of time on people's hands Wednesday and last night. Ball 3-2. So it's been a bonus for the merchants. But some of the players have been a little anxious. Especially last night. A lot of guys wanted to get it on, but there was no way. Ball 4. So Necro has walked his 3rd man.
Number 48, pitcher John
in an inning and a 3rd.
Stupper.
And John Stupper comes to the plate. Necro this season averaged less than 3 walks per 9 innings, so that tells you right off the bat with 3 in an inning and a 3rd that he's really not on the mark tonight yet. Smith at first base, corner. Inchgallo at 3rd as Chambliss holds the runner on at first, and Necro throwing over there. And as you can see that time, as Phil came set, Stupper had already made the motion to square around. And it's tougher than you think, as you can see there. To seal against this battery, they send the runner on the bunt run, and it's bunted down to Chambliss, and Chris makes the play. But Stupper is able to make contact, and down to second goes Smith. On the artificial surface, with everybody knowing you're bunting, Herzog sending the runner, and they have him at second now with 2 down.
That's what I said the other day. When you have those infielders charging in, and you have the turf where the ball rolls quick, in order to defeat that, you have to run the runner.
So now Tommy Herr, who started the first inning with a walk, is the batter. Herr was 2 for 5 in game 1. Cardinals 1, Braves nothing. 2 out, bottom of the second. Ozzie Smith at second. Grounded down to Ramirez. And Raphael over to Chambliss to retire the side. So nothing doing for the Cardinals. We played 2 full at Busch Stadium. St. Louis 1, Atlanta nothing. Third inning, game 2 at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Cardinals 1, the Braves nothing. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Atlanta. Bruce Benedict, Phil Niekro, and Claudell Washington facing John Stuper. Benedict was 1 for 3 in game 1 off Bob Porsche. The rookie John Stuper ready to work in the third. Missing away, ball 1. Stuper called up early June. He was 7-1 with a league-leading 1.46 ERA at Louisville. 2-0 the count. College scores for you. West Virginia a winner by 7 over Boston College today. Alabama by 3 touchdowns over Penn State. Virginia Tech eking one out over Duke. And Georgia easily over Mississippi. 3-0 the count. North Carolina rolling by 17. Illinois with Tony Eason at the helm by 4 over winless Purdue, and in the thriller, Iowa beats Indiana. Benedict going to first base.
You know, a lot of people seem to think that when a batter is hitting 8 in the lineup that he's a very bad batter. It's a very, very important spot in the lineup because you have to get on base in order for the pitcher to bunch on. If you come up the bat with 2 men on, you got to get on. That way the pitcher will hit that inning rather than leading off the next inning with an out. And if you get on with less than 2 outs, the pitcher will be able to bunch over. So it's very important at that 8th spot.
Niekro does his job by laying one down to Hernandez, who thinks about second and then goes to first, where Herr covers and Benedict advances. So there's the tying run. Benedict now at second base on the 3-4 sacrifice. And Claudell Washington coming up. The 8th spot, as Tommy mentioned, important here. Missouri and Kansas State. Other scores tied, 7-7. Michigan a winner. Big day for Anthony Carter. Northwestern shocking Minnesota. They've got a powerhouse up there with Denny Green. And Notre Dame beats Miami by 2, with Wisconsin beating Ohio State 6-0. Nebraska easily over Colorado. Arkansas by 18 over Texas Tech. Claudell Washington fly to center in the first inning. He's 2 for 5 thus far in the playoffs. And drills it foul into the right field corner. 0-1. Talking about the 8th spot in the National League, how important it is. Oklahoma over Texas by 6. Auburn beating Kentucky 18-3. UCLA and Arizona. Shocker there for the Wildcats. Washington rolling, number 1. Beating Joe Capps Club, and Air Force beats Navy by 3. 0-1 pitch is chopped foul. That 9th spot in the American League, Tommy, has become a big spot. People have changed their thinking about that over the years, and all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of your pretty decent hitters batting at the bottom of the lineup in the other circuit.
That's right, because it's very important down on that park because you have your good hitters in the 3rd and 4th and 5th spot, and you'd like to get some runs from the bottom half. They're trying to keep the ball in on this fella. I want to jam him real bad.
0-2 to Washington. Wasting one away. If you're going to go outside of Claudell, that's where you go. You go way outside.
That's just a show pitch. That's to keep him honest.
Benedict at second with 1 gone. 1-0 Cardinals. 3rd inning. Now Porter calls time.
You know, when you get some catchers who get into the position and they try to give location, what happens, those coaches at 1st and 3rd sometimes will call the pitch for the batter. They'll say, hey, they're going to throw a fastball inside, and consequently they know.
Third base coach there, Dal Maxwell, former great Cardinal infielder. And Sonny Jackson coaching at first. You saw Porter going to the mound. They brought Ozzie Smith in, perhaps something to do with the signs. Of course, you change your signs with a runner at second.
There's a possibility that Benedict may be relaying the signs to Claudel Washington.
And so Porter brought Smith in as it's fouled away. Of course, Ozzie wants to know what the signs are, too, so he can perhaps position himself at shortstop.
When you have a catcher on base like Benedict, who has given a lot of signs, he will pick those signs up quicker than other guys. And he may have the signs, and he's given him a message on what the pitch is. And a lot of ways they do it, when they take their lead off second base, sometimes they bend over, it's a breaking ball.
1-2 pitch is up high, and that's exactly why I'm sure Porter went out, brought Ozzie in, and said, okay, let's just change the sequence a little bit here.
And if they stand straight up, it's the fastball. Some of them will use the crossover step when they're taking their lead, which would indicate a curveball, and otherwise they would just kind of dance off, which would mean it would be a fastball. So you watch Benedict, and they're watching him also. Now he's bent over with his hands on his knees. That was a breaking ball.
And he ran it in on him and down on him to strike 3. So strikeout number 3. Again here, pitch out of the strike zone.
Number 16.
And Super got him to go after his pitch way inside. 2 down. There are some hitters, of course, who say, hey, look, I know if you're at second, you can steal signs. I don't want to know anyway.
If a lot of them want them.
Ramirez at the plate. The pitch to Raphael, taken low, ball 1.
They send a message to him immediately. He's going to throw him a lot of breaking balls. This is the pitch that Ramirez has problem with. He's a good fastball hitter, and he likes the fastball down.
A looper into center field. That's a base hit. They are waving Benedict in, and it gets by McGee. He took his eye off the ball. So the game is tied, and around second is Ramirez going to third. Maxwell's waving him in, and they won't even relay it home as the Braves take the lead. A big break for Atlanta. A single to center field by Ramirez, and then McGee overruns the ball, and Ted Turner finally has something to cheer about. And it would have been close at home because Benedict is not the swiftest runner, and had McGee fielded this one cleanly, it would have been interesting. But as you can see, it skips by him. It skids. I don't know if it hits a wet spot or what out there. You can see the contrast in the color with all the rain here. The ball staying down on Willie, and by the time Hendrick can get it back in, it's too late. Ramirez circles the bases. It's a single and an error charge to McGee, and Atlanta leads it 2-1. Batted in, given to Raphael.
It takes a break like that to get a team going, and right now that's a big help to the Atlanta Braves.
Dale Murphy at the plate. The count is 0-1. That's exactly what the Braves needed at this point. A break like that, and a big one. Raphael Ramirez. A single, and then 3 bases on the error, and it's 2-1 Atlanta. Fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Tonight, Atlanta tomorrow, and the balance of the series to be played at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Game 3 tomorrow, 4th if necessary Monday, 5th if necessary Tuesday, as we're 2 days behind schedule because of the weather. High for a ball, 1-2. Joe Torre, first year at the helm for Atlanta. 1-2 pitch is popped up. Right side, foul ground, playable for Hernandez, and Keith straddling the line now, still in foul ground, makes the catch. They get 2 runs to the Braves. 1 hit, 1 error, no one left. It's Atlanta 2, St. Louis 1 after 2.5. Al Michaels and Tommy Lasorda in St. Louis as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Ken Oberkfell to lead things off. Oberkfell, Lonnie Smith, and Hernandez. A reminder, Too Close for Comfort coming up. A new episode along with It Takes Two, a new show premiere next Thursday on ABC at 9 Eastern, 8 Central Time. Oberkfell takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Oberkfell was the man who led to the Cardinal run in the bottom of the 1st inning by legging it safely down to first on what looked like a double play ball. To center, to Murphy. 1 gone.
Number 27, left fielder, Lonnie Smith.
Lonnie Smith who then moved Oberkfell over to third with his single to the hole in the first inning as the batter. 1 for 1 tonight, 2 for 4 in the 2 games. 2-1 Atlanta. Bottom of the third inning. Popped up, shallow right. Hubbard out and Washington in. And it's Claudel calling Hubbard off. The right fielder's ball, and Glenn, after looking like there might be a collision initially, giving way as he's supposed to do.
Number 37, first baseman, Keith Hernandez.
So 2 down very quickly, and Keith Hernandez is the batter. Again, another look. And it's Washington's ball here. Hubbard going out. Claudel coming in. And Claudel says, I'll take it. Glenn hears him.
Negro got 2 outs on 2 pitches.
Hernandez taken outside, ball 1. A strike. 2 outs on 2 pitches normally tells you that no matter who the batter is, you're going to take that next pitch, which Hernandez did. You don't want to see a pitcher get away with just 3. The count 1 and 2. That's something you rarely see. You almost never see an inning over in 3. Occasionally it happens, once or twice a season.
Once in a while, but very, very rarely, because that third hitter will definitely take 1 pitch. And if it's a ball, he'll take another one.
1-2 delivery is swung on and missed. Benedict has it rolled away, but he's able to scoop it up down to Chambliss. So it takes Niekro 6 pitches to get rid of the Cardinals in the third. We'll go to the fourth. It's Atlanta 2 and St. Louis 1. Bob Horner on deck as we start the 4th inning. Here's what his skipper, Joe Torre, thinks about his third baseman.
Bob Horner, to me, is probably the most disciplined hitter I've ever seen for the limited experience Bobby has. He's got a short stroke. He knows what the strike zone is. He's not afraid to take the walk. And he just makes the rest of the hitters that hit in front of him much better because of the fact that managers like Whitey Herzog don't want to face Bob Horner with men on base.
An appropriate comment in as much as he's on deck, and the man who they'll try to keep off base is Chris Chambliss. Chambliss hit a liner which was speared by a leaping Tommy Herr in the second inning. 1-1 the count.
Chris has been in these playoff competition and World Series. He has the experience, and he's quite a competitor.
2-1. His wife Audrey here with him. Most of the Braves' wives are here. It's been a long time on the road. The Braves, a bunch of vagabonds, haven't been home in 2 weeks. Hit sharply down to her, and Tommy throws him out. The Chambliss has made decent contact both times, but both times in the direction of that fellow. 1 guy, and Horner is the batter. As a matter of fact, the Braves have been home only 3 days out of the last 24. They were on the road for a week. Then they went home for a 3-game series against San Diego. Then they went out to the West Coast for a week, where they won the divisional title by taking 5 out of 7. Clemson tonight, second quarter. Big lead over Virginia. 1-0 the count. A&M in the second quarter, leading Houston by 10. Georgia Tech and Tulane are scoreless. Florida locked up with Vanderbilt. Second quarter, Tennessee has taken the lead over LSU, and at halftime, Baylor over SMU, ranked 6th, 13-0. Big upset in the making there. 1-0 the count on Horner with 1 out, bases empty in the 4th inning.
Horner's one of the few players that came right out of college into the major leagues.
Out of Arizona State, the count 1-1. Center field, and deep, Willie McGee going back, and that's Busch Stadium for you, makes the catch.
The home run in the friendly confines of Atlanta.
Yep, and in several other parks in the National League, but not here. So 2 down, And Jerry Royster is the batter, singled in the second inning. Talking about the Braves on the road, they have been here almost a week. They clinched it in San Diego on Sunday. Had to wait, of course, until the Dodgers lost to the Giants. Sorry to have to bring that up again, Tommy, but just a point of information. And then flew in here late Sunday night.
Well, they've proven they're proving that they can win on the road. They have been a very, very good road club this year.
As a matter of fact, they've been better on the road than at home, which would surprise a lot of people since they're a home run hitting team in a home run hitting park. 0-2 the count. Looking down from a helicopter, isn't that a beautiful sight? Busch Stadium opened in 1966. It's located right downtown in St. Louis, about 3 blocks from the Mississippi River. Daytime, you can see the arch from inside Busch Stadium. 0-2 pitchers outside. 1-2 the count. On the left is Bob Gibson. On the right is Rube Walker, co-pitching coaches under Torrey. Gibson, for years, a star here, pitching in the last postseason game in this park in '68. Fouled away. It's interesting with Torrey, the manager of the Braves. He, of course, played with the Braves, but also with the Cardinals. Had some great years here, including an MVP season. Dal Maxwell played here. Bob Gibson, of course, was here. So a big Cardinal element on the Atlanta side. Pitch to Royster. Hit in the air to right center field. McGee can fly and makes it look easy. 3 up and 3 down. In the 4th inning, Cards come up, bottom of the 4th, still 2-1 Atlanta. That's what we'll have tomorrow. California, Milwaukee, the winner to the World Series. Game 5 from County Stadium, 4 Eastern. We go to Atlanta, finally. Game 3 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. So big day. Join us here on ABC. Al Michaels, Tom Lasorda with you from St. Louis. Howard Cosell in Pittsburgh tonight. He'll be back with us tomorrow in Atlanta as we start the bottom of the 4th. And Darrell Porter leading off 0-1.
Outstanding knuckleball right there.
Porter, Hendrick, and McGee coming up. 2-1 Braves. Outside 1-1. That game tomorrow, by the way, at Milwaukee, probable starting pitchers, Pete Vukovich against Bruce Keeson. 1 game for the pennant. 1-1 pitch is outside. Got to hand it to our guys up there. Keith Jackson, Jim Palmer, Earl Weaver. They were on all day and night, it seemed. About 6 hours today.
Yeah, they were out there a lot of time.
Rain delays, start delayed by rain, game delayed a couple of times by rain. 2-1 pitch. Low ball 3. Weaver's going to try to work out a contract to get paid by the word next year.
The hour.
Bruce Sutter, who has been inactive. The other night, Bob Force going all the way. He needed no help. But ready if necessary. 3-1 pitch. Hit foul outside first. And Hal Lanier. Father Max, the Major League player, and Hal several years in the bigs himself. 3-2. And Chuck Hiller, who hit the first grand slammer ever by a National Leaguer in World Series play when he was a Giant in '62. Coach at third. 3-2 pitch. Got fouled at the plate. In our game tomorrow, it'll be Joaquin Andujar, who started the rained-out game and went 5 innings the other day. There is Andujar in the Cardinal dugout.
He's got an iron ball that he uses to strengthen his arm.
Porter hitting it in the air to deep right center field. Murphy going all the way back, and that one is off the fence. He plays it perfectly, but Porter is in at second with a stand-up double. Porter, and that's a home run in a lot of parks. But here it's 2 bases.
He hit a good pitch, I'll say that. That ball had some life to it, and he stayed right with it. The ball broke away from him, and he got the fat part of the bat on it. There's a situation now where you have a runner on second base and nobody out. Hendricks is going to make every effort to get that runner to third base. He'll try to hit the ball to the right side and bring him over.
Looked like also Niekro may have shaken Benedict off prior to that pitch. Hendrick grounded out in the first inning. Fouls it away. We also had a case here in St. Louis. It's similar to Milwaukee, and of course you're well aware of what happened yesterday with a fan reaching out and gloving the drive that Ben Oglivie might have caught, ruled a home run. Same situation there on that ball. Somebody leaning right out.
That ball was a little short of going out, and the fan could easily touch it.
Foul back. Give Larry Barnett a lot of credit today, too. If you saw the interview with him prior to the California-Milwaukee game, he admitted. He said, look, I blew it. Bad call.
Well, that just goes to show you they're not perfect. They admit it when they make a mistake, just like anybody else. We all make mistakes in the game.
0-2 delivery is inside, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Porter at second. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1 Atlanta. Straight back, 1-2.
He's trying to hit the ball to the other way, and that ball was in on his hands. It was a very, very tough ball to handle. You know, you mentioned that Niekro shook Benedict off on the pitch that Porter hit. A lot of times a pitcher will shake his head, and he's not even shaking a sign off. All he's doing is trying to create a little doubt in the mind of the hitter.
Yep. Could have been that. Could have been a real shake-off. You don't know. 1-2 pitch is high and gets away from Benedict. And so the runner goes to third, and Hendrick is still at the plate.
That knuckleball exploded.
Not much chance for Benedict here. And Bruce, the man under the gun, you can see that hitting off the bottom of the glove. Not even got part of the bare hand. And off to the left. So the runner at third. The Braves are up at first and third now. Back at short and second.
They're conceding to run. If he hits a ground ball to short or second base, but at the corners they won't.
And he strikes him out. A big strikeout.
Very big.
Number 3 for Niekro.
Watch the movement of this pitch right here. You talk about a moving knuckleball. Look at it. It was there when he swung. It was no longer there.
You've heard the expression, guess hitter? You know what pitch is coming, but you're guessing anyway.
See how the infield is really shortening up, and they're still going to concede the run.
Here's McGee, especially with McGee's speed. Swing and a miss. 0-1. There's the alignment there. That's what you might call AstroTurf in. Ball, if it gets down to you sharply enough at short and second, you've still got a chance.
Right, and with Porter at third base, they can afford to get back a step or two rather than with someone like Smith. Look at that pitch.
1-1. Been a long night for Benedict already.
That brought Benedict to his knees.
Yep.
That was like trying to catch a butterfly.
You got a feel for a guy who has to go out there every 4th or 5th night normally. He says, uh-oh, here we go again. 1-1 pitch. And for a strike, and the count is 1-2. Niekro, who got off to a shaky beginning. Walked 2 in the first. Threw a wild pitch. 1-2 pitch is outside, saved by Benedict. 2-2. So you have that same situation now with a man at third. Gets away from Benedict. You got a tie ball game. There's Porter.
And again, having Benedict back there will allow Niekro to not be afraid to throw the knuckleball again. There it is.
And he's got him swinging. Makes the tag on McGee. No, he doesn't, says the plate umpire, Engel, but they get the out at first. There's no advance anyway by Porter. So that strikeout number 4, second time Willie's gone down. And Ozzie Smith will be the batter. Benedict
that pitch.
Staying right with it.
He couldn't have hit that with a net.
So with Porter at third, he has struck out Hendrick and McGee back-to-back, and Ozzie Smith, the batter. very big strikeouts, obviously, and especially so now. You've got Smith at the plate. You've got the pitcher on deck. It's the outside corner for a strike, and the count is 0-1. And the crowd, they may not have the best angle in the world, but even from back of first and back of third, they're booing that call. Pitcher looked away. That one rolling away from Benedict, but not far enough, so Porter has to stay at third. Coming over from San Diego in the Templeton transaction. Up high. Count 2 balls and 1 strike.
With Stuper coming up, he may allow Ozzie to hit.
Ball 3-1 the count. Braves ahead 2-1, 2 out in the 4th inning. Porter at third. Half swing foul. 3-2. Ozzie Smith not only scintillating defensively as he was at San Diego, but providing more offense than the Cardinals had expected this season. Wound up hitting .248. He had tailed off at the end. He was bothered by a thigh injury. Crowd chanting Ozzie, Ozzie. Richard pitches outside for ball 4. So it's the second time Smith has walked.
Number 48.
First inning, Tommy Herr reaching on a walk. He play Oberkfell, beating out what looked like a double play initially, and then the run eventually scoring on the wild pitch. Third inning, Benedict the walk, Niekro advancing him, and then Ramirez a single to center. McGee might have had a play at the plate and then overran the ball. Skipped by him, went all the way to the fence, and Ramirez circled the bases. 2-1 to score. They send Smith as Stuper hits a comebacker, and Niekro works out of it. So Phil watching a man at third, nobody out, and they strand him there to the Cards, and through 4, it's Atlanta 2, St. Louis 1.
Rain on California's hit parade. Backup Brewhard took the Angels by storm. A record 4 runs scored. Tomorrow, 1 game to decide it all on ABC.
Wednesday, Diane Cannon has it all. It says here, the best of the good life with a husband on the East Coast and a husband on the West Coast. The special world premiere movie, Having It All, next Wednesday at 9 o'clock, 8 Central and Mountain, right after the Tales of the Gold Monkey on ABC. 5th inning. Glenn Hubbard to lead things off. Hubbard, Benedict, and then Niekro. And a great job done by Phil in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Runner on third base and nobody out. Henrik hitting. Wind up getting 2 big strikeouts.
Interesting. When it started out, Tommy, it looked like, well, Niekro wasn't ready to go on 2 days rest, and then all of a sudden he seems to be getting it back together.
Well, he's got his rhythm going real good now, and he's got very, very good control of the knuckleball. And when he can do that to you, you are in some kind of trouble.
Hubbard 0 for 1 tonight and 0 for 4 in the 2 games thus far. Takes a strike. 0-1.
This guy was the spark plug for their ball club. He seemed to get a lot of big hits for them throughout the year, and he's a good competitor.
Outside, 1-1.
Very tough on the end of the double play, and they execute a lot of double plays this year.
Playing in some pain, too. He's had a bad shoulder. That cost him offensively toward the end of the season. And the count 1-2. Braves leading the National League in double plays this year with a combination of Hubbard and Ramirez. Raphael did it all this year, part of the league-leading DP combo, and led the league in errors with 38. One end of the spectrum to the other. Hit foul. 1-2. Super. Went all the way twice this season in 21 starts. Super relatively inactive coming in tonight. Pitched last Sunday, 2 innings in relief at Chicago. So remember, the Cardinals in a much different situation than the Braves. St. Louis clinched a week ago Monday, so Herzog could just get the work that he wanted each pitcher to get down the stretch. He didn't have to worry about pressure games or anything. As Hubbard lines it into right field for a base hit. So Glenn is on, and up comes Benedict. Whereas Torrey, of course, was trying to win a divisional title. It was a different story for Whitey, so he was able to spot his pitchers going down that last week. But with the rainouts, it can't have helped him.
Well, the one thing is, you say to yourself, is it better for a team to cinch it early, or is it better for a team to keep the momentum going at the last couple of days of the season? No one seems to know the real answer to that. Now, you got to remember one thing. Niekro is a pretty good hitter, so in all cases, this guy might be bunting in this situation. But if you didn't have a good hitting pitcher behind him, then there wouldn't be any doubt as to why he would let the guy hit.
All right, quick call by you. Your manager, what do you do here?
I have him hitting.
Up and in, and they almost hit him. 1-0. Bruce Benedict, as if the night has not been tough enough. Now this. And Bruce says, timeout while I collect my thoughts. Another look.
Wow.
Eerie sight right there.
Look out.
You think there's no way he gets out of it. And I don't have to remind you, Tommy, of an incident last year.
Say getting hit by the goose.
World Series, Game 5.
There's a situation where Joe Torre might hit and run. He has a good contact man at the plate. There he goes.
There he goes, and it's hit into the right field corner, and it is a fair ball, bouncing into the corner and then over the fence for a ground rule double. So that cost the Braves a probable run, as Hubbard would have scored. However, still nobody out. Hubbard would have scored as he was moving with the pitch, but the ball bounding into the area down into the right field corner, skipping high off the AstroTurf. So a ground rule double stops Hubbard at third.
Number 35, pitcher Phil Niekro.
At second.
Watch the way that ball kicks off of there and bounces.
Ball landing fair. No question about that call. And then the high kangaroo hop off the AstroTurf here.
It's amazing that ball didn't bounce straight, rather it bounced to the right and very high over that fence.
Curling toward the line as it came down.
That's right.
And spinning in. Here's Niekro now, and Phil hits it in the air to left field, deep enough to score a run as Lonnie
and
Smith
the guy may tag up from second.
Make the catch, but they just send Hubbard in from third as Benedict remains at second. So Niekro delivering a sacrifice fly. And it's 3-1 Atlanta.
Number 15, right fielder, Cardinals, Washington.
Phil Niekro, who hit a home run last Friday at San Diego, his first since 1976.
Both of the Niekro brothers are good hitters, pitchers. See, there was an indication of what Joe Torre thought of Niekro's hitting ability when he hit and run with Hubbard at first base and Benedict, the eighth hitter, at the plate.
One out. Benedict at second. And Washington hits it high in the air to right field. Tagging at second base is Benedict. Hendrick makes the catch. And Bruce is on his way to third, and he's in there easily. So 2 long fly balls. One to score a run, the other to move the runner over.
16,
and Ramirez is the batter. In the bullpen, the left-hander is Jim Cott, who's older than even Niekro. And the right-hander is Jeff Lotte, a rookie. Cott will be 44 in November.
Imagine 44 years old and still pitching in the major leagues.
Yep.
And Niekro 43 and starting in the major leagues.
Phil will be 44 next April. Ramirez takes low, ball 1. 1-0. Benedict the third with 2 down. 3-1 Atlanta in the 5th.
The way Niekro takes care of himself, and Cott, they may pitch till they're 50.
Cott in particular regimented program. Of course, the way Steve Carlton's going. Steve's not to that area yet, late 30s right now.
Unbelievable.
But a physical fitness.
Great physical condition.
Here's Hub Kittle now, the pitching coach for the Cardinals. Now for a word with Stuper, who started out in scintillating fashion tonight. Struck out 2 in the first, retired the first 5, then he gave up 2 runs in the third, but one of them, and perhaps both of them, the fall of Willie McGee in center. And now a run so far here in the 5th. 1-0 pitch, grounded down to Ozzie Smith, who throws him out, and the inning is over. But the Braves stretch their advantage. A run, 2 hits, leave 1 through 4.5. Braves 3, Cardinals 1. For late tuners in, here's the key play of the game. Occurred back in the 3rd inning. 2 out. The batter, Rafael Ramirez. Bruce Benedict was at second base. A single to center. Willie McGee charging, ready to come up throwing, and perhaps having a play on Benedict at the plate, and the ball skipped by him. Went all the way to the wall. Benedict scoring, and Ramirez circling the bases. Scored as a single, 3-base error that erased a 1-0 early Cardinal lead, made it 2-1 Braves. Atlanta getting another run in the top of the 5th inning and leading 3-1 as we start the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order, Herr, Oberkfell, and Lonnie Smith. Herr 0 for 1 tonight, 2 for 6 in the playoffs. 1-0. Crowd tonight is 53,000 to 408. Exactly 400 more than filed in here on Thursday. Down to Hubbard. One second baseman throws out the other. 1 gone. Ken Oberkfell coming up.
Number 10, the third baseman.
Busch Stadium in St. Louis. When this park opened, I don't know if you might remember back, it was interesting. They had the AstroTurf surface, but they had a regular dirt infield. It was the only park like that.
That's right.
And they filled in the dirt a couple of years back to make it your standard artificial surface. 1-0 the count. John Stuper, who is on the short end at the moment, and obvious in that profile. 1-1.
Stuper's thinking back to that 3rd inning.
Line to right field, but right at Washington.
Boy, he hit a good knuckleball. That ball really broke down.
2 gone.
Number 27, left fielder.
Lowest ERA against the Cardinals, that Joe Price. You don't want to see that name, Tommy. I know what he means to you.
Not hardly.
Fred Brining of the Giants. Craig Sloan, Bobby Welch with success against the Cards. And then there was Negro. 1.29 during the regular season. 1-0 the count. Negro was 1-0 this season against St. Louis, and in 21 innings allowed just 3 earned runs. 1-1 the count.
Negro loves to pitch in that gray uniform.
2-1. Got to get you some new contact lenses now. So of course, gray euphemistically,
about
the old term, right? They used to wear the road grays.
Right.
Funny, you rarely see anybody wear gray anymore.
That's right. You'd call them the whites and the grays.
2-2. Down to short, charged by Ramirez, and he throws him out. 1-2-3 inning through 5, still 3-1 Atlanta back in St. Louis after this word from our local station.